Welcome back, YouTubers, to another TNA Impact Wrestling review. I am wearing my blue representative of TNA Impact, but this guy sitting next to me is NJ.
What's up?
What's up, NJ? What's up to you guys up there with a British fist?
Gotcha.
Representing the British TNA fans. Anyway, make sure you guys subscribe up above, like this video, and comment your thoughts on TNA Impact Wrestling down below.
And make sure you contact us in the link in the description box below.
NJ, are you ready?
Yeah!
Triple H mark #1 right here. Anyway, this episode of TNA Impact Wrestling, we open up with Sting, which is a little bit different because we usually open with Immortal, don't we?
We do.
An interesting segment, so to speak, wasn't it? You had Sting going out there talking about this whole Hogan stuff.
Calling out Hogan, yeah.
Pretty much. But then instead Flair comes out and you're thinking to yourself, why the fuck is Flair coming out?
Woo!
Yep, so we all know this is all hyping up for Hogan and Sting at Bound for Glory, I'd imagine. But it looks like before that happens, Sting is going to have to go through another old-timer who probably can't wrestle yet in Ric Flair.
Woo!
Good insight, NJ.
Woo!
Yeah, pretty much. This whole segment is Flair challenging Sting to sort of one last match. It really begs to differ. Are they going to have this at No Surrender? When are they going to have it? It was a bit confusing at times.
The big thing about this is that if Ric Flair wins, if it's key word here, if Ric Flair wins, Sting has to retire and actually stay out.
Not a phony retirement, an actual go-home retirement. But if Sting wins, then Ric Flair will feed Hogan to him on a platter. So really, it's pretty much guaranteed that Sting is going to face Hogan at
somehow, the thing I don't get about that is Ric Flair's got power over Hogan.
I don't know, but I just wonder, is this a match? When's it going to happen? You know, we saw later on in the night there was a confrontation between the two, but is there going to be a match at No Surrender? Is this going to be used as hype for the Hogan match? It's really a little bit confusing. I'd imagine this would be hype for the Hogan match. Maybe Sting wins a match against Ric Flair at No Surrender or something leading on to Bound for Glory. I don't know. The interesting way of building up, I guess.
Two old men wrestling at each other.
It's amazing that Sting is going to wrestle two people older than him, really, isn't it?
That is true.
Anyway, what do you think of the opening segment? I thought it was interesting. It was different from the usual opening segment. I did feel it was quite interesting, in my opinion.
We normally get Immortal opening, so for it to be something different, yes, it's Sting, not Angle, for another week, but again, this actually got us wondering what's going to lead from it, so it's kind of an interesting opener.
Yeah, and then we get an interesting backstage segment where Flair meets Hogan and says, I haven't seen you for 2 months, brother. But I just want to party! I just want to party right up in here in this backstage segment.
Hogan's in his office. No one thinks about going crazy! He's like, and then Ric Flair goes back out and it's all funny segment.
I just love the fact that all Flair wanted to do was party.
But the thing about this, there's a negative thing. The length of this was a bit long.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. I guess it kind of, I don't know, it kind of did what it was supposed to do, and that was, you know, get them two together and then sell the fact that Hogan doesn't really want to face Sting that much.
Hogan was telling Ric Flair to take him out, make sure he can't walk by the end of the night.
Yes. We then get to a Bound for Glory series match, something that actually is relevant. Scott Steiner versus Devon. Scott Steiner, one of the slowest workers in TNA at the moment, versus Devon.
We all know how Devon wins matches.
No, actually, Scott Steiner won this match in 1 minute after putting his feet on the rope. Oh no, that's what I thought. At least Steiner got all his energy done in 1 minute, eh? Pretty much. He needs some of that 5-hour energy shit they were advertising on this show, really, didn't they?
Numerous times.
What do you think of this whole segment, though, just in general? We had
this match. Okay.
It wasn't the match really that was that. It was that aftermath, wasn't it? Really.
Yeah. Samoa Joe comes up behind Devon, lays him out. Then his two sons come into the ring, and this brings out Pope. Again, the thing. I think they're dragging the Devon Pope thing out a bit long, but again, the Samoa Joe letting out his frustrations that he's not high in the table. I think it's good to see because it's actually giving Samoa Joe something to do, because he's not going to win now, so give him something to do. Yeah, showing his frustration on not being -10 on the Bound for Glory series. That's my new nickname for him, -10. Every time I see him on screen, I always just say, it's -10. Because that's the thing, backstage after this, he does explain that he doesn't care now, he's just going to go and take people out, that's his role now.
Angle. Him and Angle on a rampage, they should form an alliance.
Seems like it, yeah, they could do.
Take out the young guns. The next match we had was a match I was really looking forward to from last week, and that was the 8-man X Division Gauntlet for the #1 contendership to the X Division Championship. Now, in this match, we saw a lot of talent from the lead up to Destination X, you know, the 3-way matches we had. Did you enjoy this match?
The thing I was surprised about is the first elimination.
Alex Shelley.
I thought he was going to come probably get a bit of interaction with Austin Aries. I thought there'd be that, but instead he's first one eliminated. Then that weird name with Cookie.
Robbie E got buried, which is fine by me. I don't care.
And then from then on, the match has got good spots, so it's entertainment. It was just from then on, I thought it was an entertaining match. From
I thought it was entertaining. I just have a few issues with it. Number one, they didn't each get an entrance. That kind of was bad for me. I didn't like that. Another thing, I thought it could have gone on for way longer. You've got 8 men there, and it's an elimination thing. I think in the latter stages, a lot of wrestlers didn't get too much time to showcase their skills, which kind of annoyed me a little bit. I really wanted this to go on for about 10-15 minutes, and they even had a commercial break in between the match, which TNA very rarely do, because the matches very rarely go on for amount of time to get commercials.
Well, we had 8 wrestlers, and the match went on for 8 minutes, so make sense, a minute each.
A minute, an entrant.
But
was a good match, though.
Yeah, the interesting part of this came at the end, because we had Austin Aries win, which I think it was going to happen, because he's the one who's going to get this push towards the championship. And then he obviously badmouths Brian Kendrick.
What he's good at, really. Him and Kendrick then have a little bit of a brawl. So we've established now a #1 contender. We've seen some good X Division action, even though it probably didn't last as long as I like it. I enjoyed it. They have a brawl which kind of suggests they're going to have a match maybe at the pay-per-view. It's just that the pay-per-view wasn't mentioned. I really wish they'd have mentioned the pay-per-view, that they were going to have a match at the pay-per-view. I don't know. I really wish that would have been done.
Because the thing is, I know they're leaving us wondering what's going to happen, but it's good to give us some idea or some direction. So if it did mention it, 2
weeks left. You know, we need some matches announced for this pay-per-view. Come on, don't do a SummerSlam. We then have a little segment with backstage, and not actually the commentators are announcing that Mr. Anderson is injured, which is a real shame for me because we love Anderson here at British Fist.
Injured. Yeah, I think this is just you keeping him off because he's getting buried, and that is very bad of you. He needs to be in and get him back to where he should be.
Definitely.
Injured my ass.
Alright, should we move on to that knockouts match then? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, we've gone.
Mickie James versus ODB. I enjoyed this match. This is one of the better knockout matches we've had just because it got some time.
This goes back to what I was saying. I look forward to knockout matches, and the good thing about this match is obviously it's giving the heel the dominance throughout the match, and then the face getting the finish at the end.
Yeah, because Mickie James is now the #1 contender, so she needs these matches then to push her into the pay-per-view. Not that she's established enough as a #1 contender. She got a rematch clause anyway, but. Looks like there's going to be a rematch of No Surrender as well. We had her win the match in what I thought was a very good knockout. It almost felt like a pay-per-view match at points.
The length was good, the way they performed was good, and it definitely had both of them looking strong, especially ODB, even though she hasn't really got a job in TNA. But
no, but she still comes down the ramp.
That's true, yeah.
We then have a little bit of backstage segment afterwards with Winter and Angelina Love sort of hyping up the match, saying that Mickie James doesn't have a chance and blah blah blah. I don't know. It was just hyping up the No Surrender thing. Anything hyping up No Surrender was good tonight for me.
I think it was good to see them, even though I would maybe had them on commentary instead of backstage.
Well, they're on a date.
It looked pretty much like that, yeah.
I don't know. It was pretty hot. I liked it. So next match we got was another Battle for the Great Series match, the second of the night. AJ Styles versus RVD. Another match. When I saw on paper, I was thinking this is going to be a good match.
2 things like this. Number 1, we say about Rob Van Dam not being the
put over
guy.
Yeah.
So and AJ, we've seen how bad AJ's been doing recently. So I wasn't really expecting a lot from this match, sadly, because of AJ being on a weird streak.
Yeah, I did think this was a good match. I got 5 minutes. I thought it was a good match for the time it got. It's just a shame that they had to use that Jerry Lynn thing, interference, in this whole match, and it leaves me thinking, do they really want to do this whole RVD versus Jerry Lynn feud, which they've already done at Destination X? Granted, they had a good match, but not as a feud going into Bound for Glory. I'm not really sure about that.
You did this 2 times! Ring the bell!
And RVD gets disqualified for Jerry Lynn, so he's on another minus 10 points for him.
And backstage, they have this little fight going. They continue backstage, and basically, Jerry Lynn's acting like he did by accident. He's like, oh, for hell's sake, walks away, and Robert Dam's there frustrated because he didn't get the help he needed.
So AJ Styles gets 3 points, RVD gets minus 10, teasing that whole RVD Jerry Lynn feud, which I'm not too sure about, but we'll go on to the next segment, shall we?
We will.
Yes, because next we have this whole backstage segment with Flair and Sting, where Flair is looking for Sting backstage. I thought this was going to be a match. I didn't think it would be a stupid... Fuck's that noise? I didn't think this would be a stupid backstage segment thing. I thought it would be an actual meaningful match, maybe a pay-per-view. I wasn't really expecting this.
No, the good thing I like about this is that you didn't get to see Ric Flair and you didn't get to see him touch. They just looked about and he was like, "Where are you? Where are you? Come on! Oh, for hell's sake, do this!" Then he clears off, and then at the very last minute, we think Ric Flair's going to leave. He sees Sting.
Yeah, and then Sting, and then we have Gunner come out, and then Sting continues to lay out Gunner, and Flair runs away, and I'm wondering what the hell's going to happen with this whole thing now. Maybe we'll find out in the next 2 weeks. Who knows?
Gunner. The guy that looked like he was getting a push, and then this.
Buried by Sting. Right, so after this, we had another Eric Young segment. Shall we just... Fuck off, Eric Young, we hate your TV segments. But what we got after that was an interesting segment between Angle and Crimson. We have Crimson come out selling his knee injury. He comes out to the ring, and we've never really heard Crimson on mic, so it's quite interesting to hear what he had to say. He calls out Angle, and then from then on, Angle pretty much dominates the mic, which is good because he has good mic skills. What did you think to this segment overall?
As long as you say that it was dominant, the thing is, it was Grip Crimson who got the ending say. He says that I'm true in this, and then I want to see you next week. So we kind of get a hint that there's something next week between these two.
Yes. We do get a match teaser between these two. Apparently, in the main event, they announced that Angle had accepted Crimson's challenge. So I do wonder, though, are they going to break the undefeated streak? Will that be a good thing?
I think it would end with the DQ.
I'd hope it does end with a DQ, but basically, Crimson says that all the young guys still have respect for Angle, despite the fact that Angle, listened to Hogan's bullshit. And
you don't even have the ability to shine my medals.
I've got some medals.
Yeah, there we go.
But I've got bronze medals.
Bronze. And the thing about this is that it is hyping up the guy who is possibly going to face Angle and the champion. But the thing is, again, like Dan said, is this going to be next week when they're going to actually make Crimson look awful? But again, I'm hoping not.
Are we going to see a preview of the main event of Bound for Glory is what I want to know. And also, is Angle going to have a title match at No Surrender? Because at the moment, he doesn't really have a challenger, does he? Is he going to have a title match at Surrender, or are they going to focus on this BFG final, do you think?
If we do think of a possible opponent for Angle, who?
Don't know. Sting may get in a rematch, but he seems to be involved with something with Flair now. Who knows? Who really knows? Hopefully, the next 2 weeks of Impact will tell us what's going on.
They've only got 2 weeks, so they've got to do something.
Don't really have no matches announced yet or anything. We've got matches teased, just not announced yet. So
that's a problem.
Shall we go on to the main event?
The main event.
Right, the main event. Oh, for fuck's sake, the main event. The main events in TNA never fail to amaze me, just like immortal openers. We have the TNA Tag Team title matches between Mexican America and Beer Money. And as soon as this was the main event, I was thinking to myself, something's not right about this. Something ain't right.
And the first thing that weren't right is, who was at commentary?
Jeff fucking Jarrett and Karen fucking Jarrett. Was it me, or was there too much fucking Jarrett? Too much Jarrett time on commentary, and too much talk time, and too much camera time just for Jarrett?
They were pulling away from the match a little bit. The match was still okay.
The match
showed dominance between both sides.
I mean, these two have just had a match at the pay-per-view. I mean, obviously it wasn't going to be as good as that because the TNA main event only gets, 5 minutes?
It was about that.
For the tag team match, I thought the tag team match was very good. I always enjoy Beer Money tag team matches. And Mexican America get their rematch, which is kind of, I guess, makes a little bit of sense in a way.
And the way it went is basically whoever the female is of
Sarita, Rosita,
she got involved and she basically distracted Beer Money.
So Hernandez got it rude with the AAA World Title belt, which is basically, it looks like the belt made of paper. So why the fuck does it hurt?
I don't know. They took him out and then the match just finished from there.
Yeah. So Mexican America win the TNA Tag Team Championships, and then they celebrate with Jeff Jarrett at the end. It was a bit sickening, really, wasn't it? You just know this has been done because Jeff Jarrett is the founder, and this is Jeff Jarrett this whole thing has been done just to support Jeff Jarrett's ego and the fact that he's the founder and the fact that he wants a main event slot when he really doesn't fucking deserve one because he's an out of date wrestler.
And the thing is, again, it was a good match to finish with, I guess. But the thing is, we've got 2 weeks left before the pay per view. We need the match to start ending with things that are actually going to lead on to the pay per view.
Yeah.
And Jeff Jarrett, I don't think it's going to be in the next pay-per-view.
No, I guess it kind of makes sense Jeff Jarrett joining Mexican America just because he has got this alliance with AAA in Mexico. It's just that do they have to do it this way, get Jeff Jarrett in the main event? I don't really know. Overall thoughts, NJ, of this whole show?
Okay, I'm going to start with backstage segments because we don't really. Most of the ones we've got this week were actually have a reason.
Yes.
They actually had reason. Some of them were a bit long, outwinded, but other than that, they were pretty good.
Yep.
The matches we got, I guess they were all entertaining in some way or another, but like some of them, kind of the outcome was not the best, especially the RVD match. That led to us wondering.
It's developing a storyline we don't really want to see, isn't it?
No. And we flow on to, let's say, the knockout match. It was great this week. And then we have the whole Angle and Crimson thing. Again, anything hype for next week or the future is good. And then the main event, which, again, it had its bad points, but overall it was a good match.
Yep, the matches this week were very good, I thought. I did enjoy that X Division match, even though I thought it didn't get enough time. The Knockouts match was very good. I thought the opener was something different. I did enjoy the opener. It gave me guessing as to what the hell's going to actually happen between these two. AJ Styles and RVD, the BFG series match didn't end very well, but it was still a good match for what it was. The main event, although it had bad things like MJ said, was still a very good main event. And I guess this whole Jarrett thing, I don't know where they're going with this, but we'll find out hopefully in the next 2 weeks. And the Angle Crimson segment, I thought was very good, and I think Crimson really held up his own. TNA Impact Wrestling for me, I was actually very entertained by this week's show. I really enjoyed it. It kept my interest throughout. I really wish there was a bit more mention of No Surrender, but that's the only gripe I really have about tonight's show.
The thing that got me entertained about this whole night, basically, it was because most of the segments gave us a feeling of next week or towards the pay-per-view, which is great, because we need that feeling ready for the future weeks.
Well, I'm going to give this week's TNA Impact a B. I really enjoyed the show. I really do hope they do some more X Division stuff, and they really hype that X Division feud going into No Surrender now.
I think B's a good grade for this, because there weren't too much bad in this.
No.
Not a lot bad that stood out, so I think it's good B.
I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to now. I'm looking forward to that final Bound for Glory series. Those 2 Bound for Glory series matches at No Surrender to determine who the hell is going to be the number 1 contender.
That's the question.
I'm really looking forward to that now. Who's going to actually get in there?
Matt Morgan seems to be out, which he did appear at a commentary in some of the matches. But
so yeah, good Impact Wrestling for me.
It was good.
Yep. Okay then. That has been our thoughts on TNA Impact Wrestling this week. Make sure you get your thoughts. Yes, you guys out there, the guys that subscribe to us and keep us going here at the British Fist, get them in that comment section down below. I have been Mr. Parkin. This guy sitting next to me has been NJ. Woo! And we will see you next week again for another TNA Impact Wrestling review. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.